Welcome everyone to our webinar today. My name is Adam Seitz. I am a software consultant at Yeo Yeo Technology, here to guide you through the capabilities and benefits of Copilot for Microsoft 365. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be covering a few different topics on Copilot for Microsoft 365. First, we will be providing an overview of Copilot and licensing. Next, we will be discussing the security aspects of Copilot. After that, I will be providing some examples of how to use Copilot in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And then finally, we will be ending the presentation with a Q&A session to address any questions or concerns you have about Copilot. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please leave them in the Q&A section of this event. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is your AI assistant. Your Copilot is here to assist you. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is an AI-powered productivity tool designed to enhance workplace efficiency by integrating with Microsoft's suites of applications. It utilizes large language models like ChatGPT that some of you may be aware of, and the Microsoft Graph, which is your Microsoft environment, including your SharePoint, your network documents, your applications, your emails, and even your Teams messages. And it uses those to assist users in tasks across apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. Some of you may have thought that you already have Copilot and have used it, and that may be true. There is a free version of Copilot that comes with Microsoft Office. This version acts as a chat AI bot similar to ChatGPT, allowing you to ask questions or enter prompts and get a response based on what Copilot finds on the internet. The difference between that version of Copilot and Copilot for Microsoft 365 is that Copilot for Microsoft 365 also integrates within your Microsoft ecosystem. This allows for Copilot to be used within Microsoft apps, which we will be showing today, allows you to reference and ask questions about your data, and it includes increased data protection. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is $30 per month per user. Your Copilot has access and permissions that you as a user have. If documents on your network are available to you as a user, your Copilot also has access to them. The things you do not have access to, neither does your Copilot. For example, I cannot ask my Copilot for information on emails that my manager has sent to my coworker. But I can ask it to recap messages sent to me in Teams from my manager this past week. Copilot does not use your data to train the AI, and your data never leaves your network. Some things to consider when reviewing your network security in preparation for Copilot integration include understanding sensitive data, checking your policies, labeling your data, creating an encryption plan, and aiming for the perfect balance of tight security and easy access. Now it's time for the fun stuff. I will now be playing some videos showing how you can use Copilot for Microsoft 365 within Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. First, I will show you how Copilot can help kickstart your documents in Word. Hello and welcome to this video demonstration of Copilot for Microsoft 365, a smart assistant that can help you with building documents in Microsoft Word. Copilot is a new tool that leverages artificial intelligence and natural language processing to help kickstart your documents. Let's go ahead and get started. Copilot can help you with your drafting by creating initial documents based on your specifications. You can use Copilot to generate outlines, summaries, or introductions for your writing projects. To use this feature, you'll need to provide some information about the topic, purpose, and audience of your document in the user prompt section. For example, in this document, I want to create a memo telling my team about a picnic that we will be having in Frankenmuth on July 10th. I can go ahead and ask Copilot to build me that. As it's loading, you can see that it's building some paragraphs. It's going to generate about a page of content with some information that I've specified, including putting together a list of items that we need people to bring. And keep in mind that this may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it does help kickstart your brainstorming process. As always with artificial intelligence generation, I would recommend reviewing the generated content and making updates as needed. After the initial generation of the document, or on existing documents that you may have, you can ask Copilot to add different sections or make modifications in different ways. In this example here, I asked Copilot to add a paragraph describing the activities that we will be hosting at the picnic. Copilot will then write that, build it into the document using those instructions. Another trick you can do is highlighting certain information in your document that may have numbers or may be better represented as a table, and you can ask it to visualize this as a table. This will then, under the section of data that you had selected, create a table based on the information that you have selected. If this is something you would like to see in your document, I would recommend removing the previous content and keeping the table there instead. And that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to look out for more of these tips and tricks with Copilot in the future. Now that you have seen how Copilot can be used to kickstart your documents, I will show you how you can use Copilot to retrieve information from your documents. Hello everyone. Today we're going to be exploring how Copilot can summarize documents and pull specific information from a document. Let's go ahead and get started. Copilot is an AI-powered assistant that can help you with a variety of tasks in Microsoft Word. It can summarize long documents, find specific information, and much more. Let's start with summarizing a document. Imagine you have a document, let's say the one I have here, the Sage What's New for 2023. Let's say I want to get a quick summary of what is contained within the document. Here's how I can go ahead and do it. If you go ahead and click on the top right Copilot button within Word, you'll see it'll take just a second and it will load a sidebar for you to view. You can then either type in the bottom right or click on a button in the top right that says Summarize this document. If you let it load for just a moment, it will actually bring up a summary of what is contained within the document. So in this case, I'm looking at a What's New document for Sage 2023, and it is a long document, but I just want to get an overview of what has changed from the last version to the most recent version, 2023, of Sage 100. Maybe I'm performing an upgrade and I need to be aware of what advantages this new version may have in store for me. Alongside providing you a summary of the document you're looking at, it'll also give you some references of where in that document Copilot is pulling that information from. Now let's say you want to find some specific information in the document. In this case, I went ahead and asked it if it could detail the inventory management enhancements. After taking a moment to load, it will load a brief description of the inventory enhancements that this document describes. As well as, similar to the previous example, providing us with some references of within the document where Copilot grabbed that information. So that way you can, maybe you're a little skeptical and it says it does this certain thing, you can go ahead and click on that reference. It'll take you to where in the document it states that, and you can review it there. And that's it for today. With Copilot, you can easily summarize documents and find specific information. It is a powerful tool that'll save you time and make your work in Word more efficient. Thanks for watching, and be sure to look out for more of these tips and tricks with Copilot in the future. Thanks. The previous two videos focused on Copilot in Word. In the next video, I will show you how Copilot can assist you in Excel. Hello and welcome to a video demonstration describing how Copilot in Microsoft Excel can assist you with formulas, visual aids, and formatting. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to show you how Copilot can assist you in creating formulas within your Excel documents. With the example we can see here, there's a table within the document that displays categories and costs per month from January to December. After looking at this, I want to know the totals for the full year for each category. So I can ask Copilot to build me a formula to do so. After Copilot takes a second to load, it will go ahead and show us the formula that it built and give us the option to insert that column into the table. Clicking on that Insert Column button will then add that column to the end of our table. Let's say I also want to get a breakdown of percentages for each category compared to the total amount. I can again ask Copilot to build me that formula, and then again be able to click on the Insert Column button to add that to the end of the table. Now let's talk about some formatting. Looking at this table, it's a bit bland. It has different shades of whites and grays to separate the columns, but it's a lot of numbers. So I want to see costs for categories that are above 5,000. Again, I can ask Copilot, for all the month columns, add a conditional formatting rule to highlight all amounts over 5,000. Copilot will then take just a second to load, and it will build that rule into the conditional formatting of the Excel document. After adding our columns and our formatting, we've got a good understanding of our data. But let's say I want to see a pie chart of each category broken out into the percentages that are represented in that column that we added previously. Copilot will then load a preview of that pie chart and give us the option to add it to a new sheet. Clicking on that Add to a New Sheet button will then quite literally add that pie chart to a new sheet for viewing. That is all for this video. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to look out for more tips and tricks with Copilot in the future. In this final video, I will show you how Copilot can help you build a presentation in PowerPoint. Hello and welcome to a video demonstration of how Copilot in Microsoft PowerPoint can help you build a presentation. Let's go ahead and get started. Copilot in Microsoft PowerPoint can assist you in building a PowerPoint from scratch. Go ahead and click Copilot button in the top right corner of the screen. With the prompt in the bottom right, you can ask it to create you a presentation. In this example, I'm asking it to create a presentation describing the basics of Sage 100. In just a moment, it'll go ahead and build you a presentation with information it can pull from online. Copilot for Microsoft 365 also allows you to reference documents and build presentations based on those as well. These presentations will include slides, descriptions, titles, images, and even a notes section for you to build off of. After building your presentation, you can use Copilot to help you with your design and organization of the presentation itself. First off, you can actually ask Copilot to animate slides for you. You can also ask Copilot to add images of maybe a pen and paper. Another great feature of Copilot in PowerPoint is the ability to organize the presentation for you. So with the presentation I have, it's all slide to slide to slide. Asking Copilot to organize the presentation for you will add title slides, an agenda, and slide groups to your presentation. Maybe you were done with the presentation and you're like, I forgot to add this specific slide. Copilot also has the ability to create new slides on your presentation. You can see here that I asked Copilot to create a Q&A slide at the end of my presentation, and it went ahead and did that. That is all for this video. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to look out for more tips and tricks with Copilot in the future. Now that we have gone through some examples in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, I will be answering any questions you may have. If you have a question, please leave it in the Q&A section of this event. Okay, we'll give just a minute to see if anyone has any questions. Okay, Joe just asked, can Copilot be voice controlled? That is a great question. And actually, yes, it can. So you can actually, with Copilot, in the chat area, there's a microphone icon. And if you have your microphone set up on your system, you can click that and basically just talk to it as if maybe you were, voice texting a text message. It's a very similar concept. So yes, in fact, you can voice control Copilot. So rather than, typing in, for example, with the PowerPoint presentation, rather than typing in organize this presentation, you can just click the little microphone and say organize this presentation, and it will go ahead and take the exact same actions. Okay. Peter asked, how accurate have you found Copilot is in cases like your PowerPoint Sage 100 presentation example? That another great question, Peter. I have found Copilot to be pretty accurate when it comes to any content that I've had it generate. The question that comes up with that, though, is more of how specific your prompts are. So if you're not super specific, Copilot may grab extra information that you didn't necessarily ask for, but the more specific you get, the more detailed it can get. And yeah, so that's a great question. Let's see here. We have another question from Boone. Let's see here. Does Yo currently have many users who are paying for Copilot? Have you received feedback from those users on if this has increased productivity? And that's another great question. So we do have users that are paying for Copilot that do have the license, and they are using it for a bunch of different tasks, including chatting with it, asking for network, or asking for information on our network, recapping Teams meetings, kickstarting documents like this. And there has been feedback that it does indeed increase productivity. One of the great features that I will actually be covering in our next webinar for this and our next tips is one of the features that is um, useful in Teams. So if you use Teams, Copilot can be used to help recap meetings and generate action items from those meetings. So it really helps you be more engaged in your meetings and takes the time spent building recaps down way like a ton. So that's a great question. Let's see. We have another question from Philip Jones. Does this license add improved Copilot capabilities outside of the traditional Office suite and apps like Teams, Planner, OneNote, or Power Automate? Again, that's another great question. As I mentioned, it does have improved capabilities in Teams for sure. Like I mentioned, we love using the Teams Copilot features. They're super useful, whether it be recapping, voice chat meetings, or even recapping and asking for information within a chat. So rather than just searching, I'm sure many of us have been looking at our Teams chats and seeing, oh, this person sent me this information, right? Let me do a search for a keyword. Rather than doing that, you can actually have ask Copilot to recap any information regarding that, and it'll build that for you. I do know it is also available in OneNote. Planner, I believe so as well. I would have to get some more information on that for you. But as far as Power Automate it does indeed include Copilot. Um, in terms of being able to help you build flows within Power Automate. However, the AI capabilities of Copilot are not accessible within the flow. That is used with another tool called AI Builder. So it's a great question. Okay, let's see. Do we have any other questions? I'll give just a moment to, if there's any other questions that come trickling through. All right. Oh, looks like one just popped in. We have a question from Jeff. Have you ran into any limitations with Copilot? That is a great question because the limitations when it comes to Copilot are honestly up to your imagination, I guess, in terms of what you're looking to have Copilot do. There are, within all of the apps and everywhere that it's available, there are examples of prompts that it allows you to use and that are readily accessible. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to limitations, I can't have, for instance, with the I'm trying to think here because it's difficult to come up with some limitations because it's pretty accurate, but I would say it can't write a book for me, but and sometimes, like I mentioned with the Word document, that sometimes it's not 100% accurate, but that's usually due to the prompt engineering. So what you asked it to do may have not been specific enough. But yeah, no, there are, like I mentioned, whenever you're using AI, I would always make sure to review anything that it generates to make sure that it's up to your standards before sending out to any clients or any, coworkers or managers, anything like that. Nancy has asked, how is the 30 paid? Is it on the 365 subscription? So that's a great question. It is within your Microsoft subscription. For more information on how to get started and where to handle this, I would advise you to reach out to your account executive. And if you are not sure who that is, feel free to contact me and I would be happy to guide you in the right direction. Okay. All right. Well, that is going to mark the end of the presentation. So thank you everyone for your questions. If I did not get to your question today, or you think of one later, feel free to reach out to me or your account executive, and we can go ahead and answer those questions for you. Thank you to everyone who joined this webinar. We have so much more to share with you about Copilot for Microsoft 365. Be sure to look for invites to future webinars where we will be covering examples in other areas of Microsoft 365, including Teams, Outlook, and Copilot Chat. Thanks again and have a great rest of your day.